welcome everyone. Morning. Thanks for coming. I'm Michael Herman. I'm chairing this session. I teach in the English department here, and I've had the absolute honor of having Joey in my class a couple of times, especially with this project. This project actually started in our screenwriting class last semester. So I watched this script actually develop from the initial idea, which is really exciting. And I've seen it take the steps of development throughout the semester and beyond, which is super exciting, as many of you know, to see a student take a project that you're working on in class and continue to work on it. And you're all in for a special treat, because this script, I've seen many scripts, both in school and out professionally, and student scripts, and this script, I absolutely have to tell you, is one of the most, that's creepy and strange. So we'll just leave it like that in case some other spirit wants to come in. It really, it's incredibly insightful. It's very, very smartly written. It's touching. It's important. I'm sorry, I'm blocking. It's relevant in so many ways. And Joey's a writer who should be heard and should be listened to, and this is a script that I think demonstrates that in a very, very strong, important way. So what we'll do, I know Joey wants to make a couple of remarks before we start. We'll do the reading, and then we will, I think what's always helpful in these situations is to do a little bit of a talk back so that the writer can hear anything that hits you, how it hits you, any questions you have, because I know Joey's interested in potentially working on this further. So as some of you know, writing plays and screenplays, it's super important. It's probably the most important step in the process, is hearing it out loud so that we can hear what you think. And in getting the conversation started after the reading, we probably have a question or two that can get it going, but then just generally any thoughts you have afterwards are always really helpful for the writer to hear. And thank you also to all of these wonderful readers, actors, for getting up early on the day that there's no class to help Joey, but I think it shows the support that he has for an amazing project. So I'll turn it over to Joey.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here. I'm very happy, and we're all excited to get going. So this is just a reading, so we're going to ask all of you to use your imagination, and we're just going to get going. Supernova. Fade in. Exterior jungle gym recess. We hear the frenzied sound of a kindergarten playground. Little creatures run in every direction, screaming. In this blur of tiny bodies stands Charlie, an even tinier child, confused. Suddenly Derek, the little mischief maker, runs up to Charlie and kisses him, then pushes him down, then runs back into the chaos. Charlie stumbles back onto his feet, looking in every direction for Derek. He then turns to the camcorder, with a sad and fat lower lip. Wide eyes, he looks more confused than ever. Voiceover.
A short film about my life.
Cut to black title card with Supernova written in white. The word twinkles and fades. Then a quote appears. We're all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Oscar Wilde. Cut to interior 1990s bowling alley, day, voiceover.
It was my 10th birthday, and I invited my whole 5th grade class. I remember because my parents' gift topped every present in the ceiling-high stack. It was a gift to last beyond a lifetime, the deed to my very own star, Aquileus 071133, which resides within the boundaries of the Little Horse constellation, was thereby named in my honor. I wonder whether this was just some corporate sham that sold every kid the same deed. What if we all owned the same star and no one knew? I guess sometimes in life things really do need to be set out in the open. If anything, it makes them real.
Charlie lifts a glittery black bowling ball with the likeness of Galaxy off of the rack. He then shimmies to the foul line where Derek is already waiting with the ball held high over his head. Mom holding the camcorder.
Okay, boys, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Derek swings the ball in a straight pendulum-like motion. Charlie, on the other hand, catapults the ball back between his legs and right into the gutter. It ricochets down the lane from bumper to bumper. The boys watch in silence until Charlie is left with a 7-10 split and Derek with a strike. Derek swings his fist backwards as if to say, nailed it. Charlie motions for a high five, but Derek squeezes him into a hug. The two cheese it for the camcorder. Cut to interior 90s bowling alley later that day. Lights off. We hear a chorus of happy birthday. Charlie's face is dimly lit by the rainbow cake with 11 candles. One for good luck. Voiceover.
Can someone please tell me what you're supposed to do when everyone is singing happy birthday to you? Do I sing along or just sort of sit there and look pretty? I honestly still don't know the answer. I guess I've always used this awkward moment to really think about what I ought to wish for. I chew it over in my head for a bit, like a bite of birthday cake to come, but I always seem to wish for the same thing year after year. It's no mystery. People are always telling me I'm an open book. It must be written all over my face.
Charlie is fixed on Derek in the dim candlelight. He closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and glows. Fade to black. We hear the song Love Lost by the Temper Trap begin playing in the background. Letters appear in white then fade. Fast forward 7 years. The black screen slowly becomes populated with constellations, and the camera pans out until a window suddenly frames this starry night. Inside, teenage Charlie tosses and turns in his bed. He turns on a light and begins digging in a sea of books that litter the floor. He comes across Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, and weighs it in hand, smiling. A key-wound alarm clock comes into focus, and the hands on the clock begin spinning to no end. The camera pans out once more, and we see Charlie reading throughout the night at light speed, constantly changing reading positions around the room as the stars in the window twinkle and fade to morning. The hands on the clock suddenly stop, leaving only the second hand trotting forward at normal speed, moments from reaching 7:30 a.m. In this small window of time, Charlie closes his eyes as he folds the cover of his book closed like a prayer. He appears to be finally falling asleep, sitting upright on his bed. The song fades into silence. Suddenly, the key-wound alarm clock begins beating bell to bell, jolting Charlie awake from his brief sleep. Cut to interior bathroom that morning. We hear the creak of a shower handle and see the rush of water flow onto Charlie's light hair. He closes his eyes once more, and the camera pans out of the shower, and we see a prep school uniform hanging. The camera pans along the sink counter. Dental floss, mouthwash, electric toothbrush, and accompanying charger. Toothpaste, 4 to 5 dentist recommended, breath mints, and a pack of spearmint chewing gum, sugar-free. The shower handle creaks off. Charlie fixes his tie just right in the mirror. He checks to see his watch, and then he's running late. He hesitates for a moment.
It's our last first day of school together. Even Derek can wait. Plus, no need to start the year off with poor dental hygiene.
Cut to interior Charlie's mouth. A montage of tooth tomfoolery is displayed. Mechanical toothbrush buzzing, mouthwash swishing, and a finger examining squeaky cleanness. Charlie then awkwardly rushes out the door and down the street as he tries to balance an armful of books and fight the bobbing momentum of his loaded backpack. Voiceover.
Derek and I have walked the same 478 steps. 432 if you don't step on any cracks. To school together since the 5th grade. But now I felt that life was changing fast this fall. Like everything was up in the air, just out of reach. Like the wind was blowing us in different directions, and all we could do was yield to see it, and see the seeds scattered. See where the seeds scattered.
Derek is seen from the back, swaggering slowly down the sidewalk.
Thanks for waiting up, old pal.
Don't mention it.
I guess I should count myself lucky that you're even walking to school these days. I thought you'd be too cool with your flashy new license.
Who said I'm walking because of you?
I don't see anyone else here.
Well, I'm not about to love a bunch of student drivers banging like sharks trying to Pillow Park on their first go.
Student drivers, eh? So what does that make you?
I'm mature, Charlie. I've been around the block once or twice. You know how it goes.
Oh, I see. You leave me for one summer to go and live with your dad, God knows where, and now you're magically more mature?
You said it.
So should I assume you didn't just forget to shave this morning and you were indeed trying to grow that heinous beard?
Hey, do I ever give you any grief for going on about your teeth all damn night and day?
But I have great teeth, look.
Cut to interior Charlie's mouth. We can see Charlie's finger pointing towards the camera.
Look, pearly white.
I've seen your fucking teeth, Charlie.
Charlie closes his mouth and bows his head, while the two walk in silence for the remainder of the block.
Come on, Charlie, don't be like that.
Charlie counts the cracks in the pavement.
Look, I'm sorry I didn't wait up for you.
Charlie bites his lip in silence.
It's just that you go through dental floss faster than Miss Budenbaum's hand out cut cards. And I really can't be late, not today.
It's never stopped you before. And maybe Mrs. Budenbaum wouldn't hand you so many cut cards if you went to her class for once. I think you may be the only one in St. Mary's history that needs to retake astronomy.
The two laugh until they come to a busy intersection.
I really need to turn things around this year.
Oh my God, will you snap out of it, Mr. Soccer Star? I'm sure some university will want you to grace their premium field next year.
You know, not everything is about school all the time, Charlie.
I'm just trying to say that.
You think you're so smart because you stay up all night reading those stories? We'd be trying to change too if you knew a damn thing about reality.
The light changes. Derek uses his long legs to pull away. Charlie suddenly feels the weight of his books again.
Whoa, what does that mean? Or are you just going to leave me here guessing?
Derek continues walking and approaches the school grounds.
Derek, wait up. We're going to the same class, for Christ's sake.
Derek disappears into the first day frenzy.
You know, I'm not too fond of this new dark and mysterious Derek. He's not mature at all.
The school bell begins to ring, much like this morning's key-wound alarm clock, causing Charlie to jolt again and drop his books.
Great. He suddenly decides to give a shit about school and I'm late for the first time in my life.
Cut to interior astronomy classroom, first period. Voiceover.
I still remember my high school astronomy teacher, Mrs. Budenbaum, telling us that when you wish upon a star, you're essentially 1,000 years late. That star, like your wish, is long gone.
Charlie peeks into the classroom window and sees Miss Budenbaum already drawing moon phases on the chalkboard, with her back to the class. He turns the doorknob silently and tiptoes in with his arm again full of books.
I take it that you are Mr. Charles Esther?
Just Charlie's fine, Mrs. Budenbaum.
Well, I hope for your sake that your lateness is not a symptom of some severe illness. Senioritis, perhaps?
No, ma'am.
Or have you already been accepted into the university of your dreams? No time for us small prep school folk.
It won't happen again, I promise.
No, it won't. Now, I trust you can find yourself a seat? It's not exactly finding Orion.
Derek glares at Charlie and theatrically kicks his 2 feet up onto the empty chair in front of him. The whole class watches as Charlie stares at the only remaining seat, located at the front of the class, with a bad taste in his mouth. Surprising, since he brushed so well this morning. As Charlie settles in, Miss Budenbaum turns again to the chalkboard and begins to drone on about astronomy in the background. Meanwhile, the text of text messages appear floating above students' heads as they pass notes in this modern age.
Dude, I told you, Charlie was gay.
What?
Yeah, I heard he came out this summer.
Wow, what a fact.
Did you hear Charlie has a crush on Derek? Shut up. I know. Liz saw him practically chasing Derek down the street this morning. So do you think Derek knows? Obviously. All of St. Mary's will know by third period. You don't think Derek's gay too, do you?
The 2 girls turn and look at Derek, who is sitting confidently low in his chair, uniform untucked, spinning his pen in hand, amused by his own trick.
I hope not.
They turn to each other and giggle silently.
Yo, what's the deal with Charlie and Derek?
Derek better watch himself.
Yeah, we can't have our captain switching teams on us.
Cut to interior school gymnasium gym class. Voiceover.
Much like Derek, it felt that time was running away from me. The cold shoulder of winter arrived that year without warning. It felt like it would last forever. Everything moved like shadows and the school was in constant whisper. But no one ever said anything to my face, especially not Derek.
Charlie sits on the sidelines of an intense indoor soccer game, reading. He is the only one in the large crowd not entranced by Derek, who weaves in and out of the blur of 2-tone pennies with masterful control of the soccer ball. When the ball rolls in Charlie's direction, Derek is tripped by a fellow teammate and crashes into Charlie. The soccer players all laugh. Charlie quickly picks up his book and dusts his uniform off. He holds out a helping hand to Derek, who is still on the floor. He looks downright pissed.
Need a hand?
Derek looks up and down the gymnasium at the mass of people, waiting for his next move.
Just because we haven't talked in months doesn't mean I won't be there to pick you up when you're down.
Charlie grabs onto Derek's forearm and hoists him onto his own 2 feet. In the same motion, Derek violently shoves Charlie away using all his body's force.
Keep your hands off me, faggot.
Silence. The entire gymnasium is still. At a complete loss for words, Charlie's mouth gapes open. He grips the book in his hands and hurls the heavy hardcover into Derek's stomach. Everyone watches Charlie swing his bag over one shoulder and march out of the gymnasium with his head down. The metal doors creak open and slam shut. Derek looks around at the crowd. Whispers fill the gymnasium air. He tears off his penny and throws it up to the floor, inside out. Cut to exterior to interior, Charlie's home, day. Voiceover.
A much-needed spring arrived later that same year. The harsh winds of winter had finally calmed. All that had died was quickly coming back with new life. And somehow, all this led Derek right to my doorstep.
Derek is seen walking without his signature swagger. He hesitates for a moment and rings the bell. He stands uncomfortably until Charlie's mom answers the door and leads Derek down a long hallway. He is surprised to see his own face in the photographs hanging on the 2 walls. There is a picture of Charlie sitting piggyback atop his shoulders, the 2 of them balanced like a totem pole, and another of the 2 smiling into the camera, their faces squished over a bonfire like they themselves were marshmallows. He bows his head and keeps walking. Cut to interior Charlie's bedroom. There is a hesitant knock on the door.
Honestly, Mother, we're standing on a planet traveling 66,000 miles per hour around the sun traveling 500,000 miles per hour, and the Milky Way traveling 1,300,000 miles per hour in the great wide universe. So don't tell me I haven't moved all day.
Derek creaks open the door, taking in the scene. The room is in worse shape than before. Tons more books litter the floor and little else. Charlie sits in the middle of this chaos, atop his bed reading.
Oh, it's you.
Charlie goes back to his book.
Weird how we've been friends since kindergarten and I've never seen your bedroom.
Well, I guess we aren't the best of friends now, are we, Derek?
I've missed walking to school with you. I've been waiting up, but I've never seen you.
Have you now?
Yeah, I even miss going on about your damn teeth.
Well, we humans are known creatures of habit.
I guess some things never change.
Oh, totally. Like how you've always loved to push me away and expect me to come running back.
Charlie finally looks up from his book and shows Derek his sad smile. Derek takes long strides over the piles of books and sits next to Charlie.
Look, I've never liked running out on you. Things are just complicated.
Oh, are they?
Come on, Charlie. You know I'm shit with words.
We certainly weren't at a loss for words the last time we talked. I actually think you made your point loud and clear, in front of all St. Mary's, no less.
I didn't want to do that, Charlie. I'm fucking sorry.
Charlie folds the covers of his book shut, as if praying.
Look, you don't have to forgive me. I fucked up big time, I get that. I only came so I could give you this back.
Derek gets up and holds out Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray.
And why are you giving me this now?
At first I was scared to be seen with you. Then I figured I might as well read the damn thing. See what you're always going on about.
Wait, you read Oscar Wilde?
Well, I'm no speed reader, but he helped me think about some stuff, you know?
God knows you need all the help you can get.
You're right there, Charlie boy. I'm fucked.
Oh, don't go thinking you're some special star. We're both fucked.
The 2 share a look of recognition. Suddenly, Derek takes hold of Charlie, gripping his shirt as he kisses him. Charlie's eyes widen in shock as he tries to make out words. His eyelids fall as the 2 lower onto the bed, tangled at the ankles like a pair of knotted headphones. Derek abruptly pulls himself away. He fumbles over the books and towards the door.
What the fuck am I doing?
Are you seriously going to run away from me again, Derek?
Derek sends a tower of books crumbling down.
Derek,
Derek whips around.
talk to me.
No one can know.
And who would I tell?
Not your mom. Not even a word in that journal of yours.
If you don't want me to,
And don't even look at me when we're at school.
you know it doesn't have to be this way.
And only for the summer. I can't be doing this shit in college.
Derek, you're not being fair.
And I'm not gay.
No, just fucked.
Derek leaves, and we see Charlie's smile turn bittersweet. Cut to exterior, winding road, night. Headlights pierce the darkness as Derek's truck zooms up the vacant road. Voiceover.
That summer the air swelled and weekdays meshed into weekends. The hazy hours Derek and I spent together should have been golden, but rarely were they in broad daylight. Instead, the murky unknown of what was to happen when we split for college loomed and left me feeling like the summer sun, constantly bent over the horizon, always right about to drown.
The car pulls into a secluded rest stop. Derek shifts into park. He kills the engine and headlights.
Well, here we are.
How romantic.
Let's not ruin the night before it started, yeah?
Derek runs his hand up Charlie's thigh.
I just don't know how anyone can feel this lonely all the time.
Well, I'm here now. It's just you and me.
Derek leans in closer and starts playing with Charlie's hair.
That's the point, Derek. It's just you, me, and the damn stars at night.
What's wrong with the stars? They're romantic and shit.
Derek leans in for a kiss, but Charlie turns away.
I can't keep sneaking out every Friday night. It's not